is the Director of Virtual Learning at is it Virtual Learning? Great, we're going to dive right in.
Good afternoon. If I live up to the great part, I was sitting in this room earlier today, and I know it's really loud past the doors, so I just want to make sure you can hear me back there in the back. Okay, good. So I'm with the Georgia Virtual School, which is the Georgia Department of Education. We are big proponents of open online learning. Most of the courses that we create are created entirely with open educational resources, along with materials that we create ourselves in-house and learning objects. So what we'd like to talk about today is a new teacher training tool that we have implemented or have created over the last year and will be implementing at the beginning of next month. And it is called our Tool Project, Teaching Open Online Learning. We wanted to call it TOE to start off with, Teaching Online Effectively. We just couldn't get over that acronym, and all the logos we came up with were just not. So we switched to Tool, and it seemed to work and be pretty fitting. So we've been around since 2005. We have about 25,000 enrollments for students, and we have probably close to 200 teachers. I was talking to my teacher quality person the other day. We hired about 80 teachers in the last year. We're projected to go from about 20,000 enrollments last year to 60,000 enrollments in the next couple of years with some of the legislation and opportunities that are going on in the state of Georgia. So we really have a teacher training issue. Higher ed institutions in the state don't really emphasize online learning. And so the challenge for us was to implement a very effective online teacher training program so that people coming to us would have the skills that they needed, to make sure it was scalable so we could ramp up to the number of teachers that we're going to have, make it a pre-hire completion piece. We used to do all of our teacher training in a post-hire model. It's very expensive if teachers drop out of the program and you're funding it, or they don't have a lot of students to teach. And to look at some budget savings ongoing as we implement it. So that's kind of what we tried to do. And as we started to do it, we thought, how can we make this really available to everybody? So after this conference last year, I went and talked to our group at the virtual school, and we started planning. About January, we started putting this information together. We really thought it had to be all OER content, so we have information we found available and a lot of information we created ourselves. We've accessed experts in online teaching, assessment, and content development, both in our group and throughout the nation that we could have access to. And we actually use an open learning platform. It's all done in WordPress. So we kind of stuck with the whole open education aspect as we created this. Because we needed to use it both realistically as a teacher training model for us, we had to come up with some models of use. We wanted to make sure if we were going to create it for us, then we might as well just make it available for everybody. So that created some challenges for us in how people were going to use what we created. So we came up with 3 models. So starting on December 1st, we'll have a casual model. Actually, that's available today because you can go to the site today and see all the material. And that is for people who just want to come and learn a portion or a little bit of information about some aspect of online learning. And in a second, you'll kind of see how we have that broken down. Then we have a registered user. So if you've been in this room at all today, it's all badge. It's been badge oriented, and our program is badge oriented also. So we need to figure out a way, how can we get people to self-award badges as they completed these modules? So we have a registered model where people come in and register, and as they complete the work, they create blogs and post that information, and that kicks off self-awarded badges, which will then point back to the criteria so people could kind of read about that. But we also wanted to use this as a tool as a pre-hire tool for our program. So we wanted to make sure that we had a way of evaluating teacher work if they went through this. So our third model is a verified user model. And so inside of that model, people complete self-awarded badges, then they kind of complete capstone projects in each module. Then we send a verifier from our organization in, and they get a slightly different badge when they're finished. So we think these three models fit all of the things we need to do, what higher ed institutions have asked for with our model, and even school districts throughout our state who provide online learning in their district. So, here's some of the uses that we thought would be interesting. Georgia has a statewide program, the Georgia Virtual School where I work, but there's also about 7 district programs in our state. They are usually well structured as far as delivery of material, but not very well staffed. Probably a lot of similarities with everything going on. So they have staff to deliver the material, but not staff to train teachers. So they really have an issue, how do I increase my teachers? So they're interested in sending students through, or teachers through our program so that they don't have to worry about the teacher training aspect. Higher education in teacher prep and in-service programs has been a big interest today. I got a call just this morning from a university who wants to integrate our program into one of their internship programs. So there's a couple higher ed programs in the state of Georgia now that are interested, and we think more will be there. We have the ability to award professional development units in the state, and that will be something that's provided with the verified badge. We also think that the casual model be used by parents and students to advocate for online learning, to learn what types of things their teachers should be doing and how they can advocate for their students. And then hopefully it'll be a resource for online learning. Although we've built the course, we plan on adding and including blog posts from our students that are doing well. And as new material comes out, be able to modify the course so that it really is a real tool for teachers. So I've got this is about a minute 56 video, and I've got the sound so that you should be able to hear it. That kind of gives you a quick overview of the program.
This is a place where educators explore teaching online in an open learning setting. For example, this is one step along a journey of learning called a quest. Quests guide people through the process of acquiring knowledge, skills, and attitudes needed to accomplish an important goal. For example, in this quest, educators explore and attain a quality known as citizenship. Why? Citizenship is one of the core qualities that online teachers should possess. Other vital qualities include digital literacy, civility, and vigilance. Mastering each of these qualities, in turn, helps educators acquire an important skill. Skills are necessary for effective online teaching. For example, exemplary online teachers must have the skill to effectively participate in a digital learning community. TOOL recognizes that there are additional equally vital skills online educators should master. TOOL provides a number of other quests. When participants complete all of TOOL's quests, they are recognized as TOOL teachers. Educators have earned the right to display this badge. This image signifies that its owners are aware of the necessary knowledge and skills that have the potential to result in online instruction that exceeds what is generally observed. Accountability extends yet another level above with verified TOOL teachers. Verified TOOL teachers have submitted documentation of their proficiency to reviewers, have been thoroughly assessed, and can readily produce evidence to support their competency. Georgia Virtual Learning welcomes you to explore the TOOL.
And if you want more information, I have a card with a QR code that you can take when it's done, and scan that, and it'll take you to the website. So that's kind of the most I want to talk. Not really. But I do want to take you to the website so that you can see kind of what we've done and how it's organized. You can see from the badge aspect that we just showed that there are 5 areas: participate, navigate, create, evaluate, and something else. Communicate, that's it. And so the website is designed for any of those user types that we talked about. So people can come in, find the information, do it or not if they want to try and do the activities, just read through it, get all the information that they need. Oh, I've even tweeted, and so we have this Twitter feed going on. We've got 2 conferences going on right now. This one in a big tech conference in Georgia, and so it's kind of a competition, so you can tweet the most. So tweet this out if you can. E-teacher tool. So we have these 5 areas. So the casual user can come in and view whatever they like. The registered user is still a free model, and people can come in, but in order to self-award the badge, we have to kind of know who you are. So you have to register, and that allows you to participate and post your blog or website or wherever you're doing for the evidence and award the badge. And then the verified piece has the same registration, but it takes it one step further because we have somebody come look. But it's very simple to go around and navigate any area that you're interested in. If you click on the show details, it shows you how many steps are required to complete that. And each one of those steps, for instance, in participate, there's citizenship, digital literacy, civility, and vigilance. Each one of those is a badge itself. So it's really badge driven throughout the piece. When you complete all 4 of those, you're awarded the participate badge. When you complete all 5 of the module badges, then you're awarded that big badge that was in the picture. So people can come in, look, if they want information on, let's say, vigilance, or I click civility because my fingers are bigger than the thing. It gives you a little information here, talks about it. Then it tells you that there are 3 steps to complete the civility. Now that part, too small, you don't get badges for the little steps. But when you complete the 3 little steps, you get the civility badge. So for instance, let's say we wanted to do step number 1. So we'll click on that one. It will begin by giving us some information. Across the top, you can see that there are 4 badges for participate. The badge you're working on is on the left, and it shows you your progress as you go, and that there are 3 parts to do this. So it gives us an introduction for people to read. The course is competency-based. We want people out there doing and learning on their own more than just reading text. Occasionally we'll include a video or a podcast from somebody that has something important to say. And so you go through this piece, it gives you some basic information, and then it gives you the quest, and it asks you to do something. The quest is to do something. So you go through, you read this, you create whatever the evidence is that you are doing. And as a matter of fact, this has a lot of information. Here's a short little video that's included. And then 2. And then at the end, if you are a registered user, it gives you a box that says post your blog, website, or whatever evidence you have here. You put that in there. If you're not registered, it asks you to participate in our community and to register and to go on. So every time if you're not registered, you say, why can't I put this anywhere? It does come back and say, please join our community. We want to learn from you. And if you do that, you can post. So if I were a registered user, then I would get a box, I would post my information there, and that would self-award the badge to me. So in the registered model, I can then go to an employer, post it on my resume that I've earned this particular badge. And as I aggregate those, I'll get to the next badge. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so at the registered user level, there's nobody who goes in and verifies that, right?
There is none.
Okay.
But it's self-reported. So the difference would be if you were an employer and it was not verified, might want to go in and look, because in theory it's a box, and when you put something in the box, it kicks off the badge. So we want you to put your URL to your blog or website or whatever. You could just type in gibberish, and it would kick it off. In our verified model, we go check for gibberish and the quality of the work, but we couldn't really do this in this model. What we will do is the badges will link back to a page that does list everything, so a potential employer could go look and click on the badge and say, okay, this is what was supposed to happen. Can I have your blog? More than likely, people who are interested in really using this will just get the verified piece. And we have school districts throughout the state that will accept this. We have districts and we have other states who have asked us to submit this for their training program in the state. And so they'll accept it once it's reviewed. So that's basically the process that someone would go through. And it kind of keeps you going all the way. So if we go back to the course piece, you can always click on whichever one you want. Communicate has 7 steps. It's a little bit bigger module. The last model in the verified, and then I'll stop and take questions because I think we only have about 5 more minutes. The last model is the verified model. That's going to run in a cohort system starting in January. So it's going to be a 6-week cohort system. We want to maintain some control over that. We have 10 mentors ready to go to take people through the program and to verify their work. And so we'll schedule those, probably no more than 30 people in a cohort, and we'll run those however often necessary. So in this particular case, Communicate would have 7 pieces. Each module is, and they're probably not as long as Participate, each module is designed to take about 5 or 6 hours. So 6 weeks, 5 hours, 30 hours. Higher ed in our state loved that. They thought that's good. That's about 1 credit hour, so we like that model. For PD in our state, it's based on 10-hour units. So the 30-hour completion model works. Clearly, if you were in the registered model and you're very familiar with online learning, you could complete it in much less time than that. You probably already have the evidence you need for a lot of it, but it really is based on about 30 hours. The cohort will be guided through modules over a period of 6 weeks. So that's our program. Are there any questions? Yes, sir.
I'm just a little bit foggy on the virtual academy. Is that K-12 or is that?
Yeah, we're a part of the department. We're a part of the Department of Education.
Okay.
Yes.
Thanks.
Any other? Yes.
Is this online?
Yes. Total.
What is the URL?
I'm going to give you a card,
All right, cool.
and you can scan the QR code,
All right.
and you'll have. Disregard the back of the card. We use the card to advertise our professional learning symposium. If you want to come to Georgia in June, we'd love to have you. The tool part is ready. No snow there. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you said at the beginning you're all just launching this tool. So this tool actually hasn't been assessed in terms of its effectiveness in training teachers yet.
Correct.
Is that coming down the road? Or?
Yes, we actually have some of our higher ed groups are interested in not only participating in it, but also reviewing it and studying it. We do have a tracker. This is not our first attempt at teacher training. We've had a teacher training program going since 2005. We took the concepts and skills that we were teaching and moved it over. We've got a terrific success in our student scores over the last 7 years. So the model, the material works. The efficacy of this model hasn't been tested. It just starts in December.
Right.
Yes, sir.
This is a teacher training program?
Teacher training program.
And what's the desired outcome?
The desired outcome is to provide the skills necessary for a teacher to be effective online. We have a ton of great teachers apply to us. They're known in their field throughout the state, but they don't come with the skills that need to be effective online. And that's a unique set of skills that a 30-year classroom teacher doesn't necessarily have. Yes, ma'am.
Can this be used for hybrid teaching?
Sure, and actually our next piece is to, if this model works well, is to actually do a blended learning, same process. A lot of the skills here translate, but there are some more specific skills that would be better. So we would take the pieces out and make a blended model of this. One last question. Hang on. Let me get his. I got 5 minutes.
Sorry, can you talk a little bit more about how you came up with those 4 categories? So those are 4 categories for effective online?
The 5. I think there's
Oh, I
5.
missed one. Okay, how did you come up with those?
Brainstorming and looking at what we've done in our teacher training. And amazingly, I was in Florida last week at the K-12 online conference and saw some higher ed groups. And these seem to be the areas that people are focusing on nationwide. So we just took from what we had, but we got it. I guess we got it right. We'll see. Yes, ma'am.
What about teacher non-technical?
Teachers outside USA. Matter of fact, there was a gentleman from Israel who asked if he could put his teachers through our program. It's open and free, except for the verified portion. Then we're not really charging for the content, but charging for somebody to actually go in and look at your work. But all of this is just available. Hit the QR code and it's there. If you looked at it today, it may change a little bit in navigation and maybe a little bit of form, but the content and everything is there. The casual user model is finished, and then the registration model with the badge awarding will start December 1st. Yes, sir.
What are the prerequisites?
There are none.
Yeah, there it is.
You can self-award the badge if you want to go through and learn it. Self-award. Now that doesn't mean just because you get the badge you're automatically hired from us. We're going to look at different information regarding your work experience or needs and those type of things. And then we do have a teacher training, a teacher mentor model that we have to put in place after we hire so that we can make sure people understand what our policies are, how our learning management goes. And this system is it's LMS agnostic, so it doesn't speak of a particular LMS. It encourages people to use and work with LMSs. We give it some information. We use a specific one, but this doesn't have any reference to it at all. Yes, ma'am.
Did I miss this, or do you not have a module on finding, using, and adapting OER?
Yeah, it's in the Create module.
Oh, it's in the Create.
Yes, ma'am. We couldn't leave that out.
Okay, thank you.
Open educational resources.
Okay.
Right there. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much. If you want a card with a QR code, I will be happy to hand these out after I pick them up off the floor. I'll be here till Friday, so if you have any questions, please let me know. If you think of a way to make this better, please let me know. We'd always like to